and welcome to my review of the Glock 21 chambered in .45 ACP. This is without a doubt one of my favorite firearms ever created. Now, as with any firearm, before we check it out, we want to make sure it's safe to work with. Want to eject the magazine, lock the slide back, make sure there are no rounds in the chamber, and it's safe to work with. Now, Glock is very famous for manufacturing pistols that are primarily made out of polymer, and they were not the very first polymer pistols ever created. The very first polymer semi-automatic pistol was created by H&K, I believe in the 70s, and Glock introduced his version, Gaston Glock, introduced his version of the polymer pistol with the Glock 17 chambered in 9mm sometime in the early 80s, I believe. Now, of course, they received a lot of press, erroneously, because people believed that they were made entirely of polymer and therefore they could get through airport security without being picked up by X-ray detectors. Of course, that isn't true. The entire slide is made out of steel, and there are many other components that are metallic. So the barrel and obviously the recoil spring guide, obviously all these things would show up on a metal detector, so it's just not true. But I will tell you why the Glock 21 is one of my absolutely favorite guns ever created. First of all, it's chambered in my favorite caliber, which is .45 ACP. Now you'll notice that these .45 ACPs are in a full moon clip, which is intended for my .45 caliber revolver. I just like the way they look. They look pretty cool, don't they? Anyway, for comparison's sake, this is a 9mm round, and obviously, as I've said in other videos, the .45 caliber bullet is a much larger, slower moving bullet compared to the 9mm, which is a much smaller, lighter, faster moving bullet. Therefore, I believe the .45, in my opinion, is a better round for self-defense, because not only do you have a larger mass impacting the target, therefore being more likely to stop the target, it also is moving at a slower velocity. Therefore, it is safer, in my opinion, because it is less likely not only to penetrate the target, but also to penetrate walls. So if you were to use this firearm in self-defense in your home, .45 caliber, especially a hollow point, is much less likely to go through walls and injure innocent people, as opposed to 9mm, which is a faster moving, lighter round, more likely to go through walls. Just for comparison's sake, here is a 9mm SIG Sauer. This is a P229. SIG is very nice, and I really like this hammer decocking lever. That, of course, is completely irrelevant on the Glock because the hammer is entirely internal. So there's no hammer, so you don't need to decock. Now, one thing that I really like about the Glock, all Glock models, not just the 21, is its simplicity. There are no safeties on the Glocks, no traditional safeties, I should say. There are three what they call internal safeties, one of which you can see right here on the trigger. This trigger safety helps prevent the gun from going off accidentally if the gun were to be dropped. And there are some other safeties internally. Now, there are several points that I want to hit in this review, and the first is purpose and utility. What is the purpose of the Glock 21? What roles is it aimed to fulfill, and how well does it fulfill those roles? One of the beautiful things about this firearm is it's really suitable for just about any role you can think of. It's suitable for home defense. It's suitable for law enforcement. It is suitable for sporting and competition. It is even light enough. It weighs so little in your hand because of the polymer construction that you really could carry this for concealed carry. By comparison, this is the Smith & Wesson 625 JM. It's a much heavier, much bulkier .45 caliber firearm, really not suitable for concealed carry. But the 21 has a much slimmer profile, It's much lighter. You really could carry this, and you know, a lot of people carry 1911s, which are also 45 caliber auto pistols, and they have kind of a similar profile. 1911 might be a little thinner than the Glock. So for purpose and utility, the Glock 21 very easily gets a 5 out of 5. It really is a firearm with one of the broadest number of applications. One thing I forgot to mention was military. It would be very suitable for military use. Okay. The second thing I want to talk about is aesthetics. You know, how cool looking is the Glock 21? How appealing is it to the eye? Now, to me, Glocks are very beautiful. I love the way they look. I love the simplicity of design. But I do think objectively there are more appealing looking firearms. For example, I think that SIGs in general are a little more attractive. So in terms of aesthetics, I give the Glock 21 and really all Glocks a 4 out of 5. Really, the Glock really is an icon. The next thing I want to talk about is ergonomics. How well does the Glock fit your hand? How easy and comfortable is it to shoot? Now, that really depends on who you are. Glock makes a number of different sizes of guns. This is a full size. They also make, in some calibers, a compact size, and then they even go one step smaller and make a subcompact size. Now, for one reason, which I absolutely do not understand, Glock does not make a 45 ACP in the intermediate size, the compact size. They basically go all the way down to subcompact, and there's a gap there, which some people think eventually they will make a compact size 45, and I think that would have really broad appeal, so I don't know why they don't make that. Anyway, for me, and I think I have about average sized hands for, you know, the average size male, and the full-size Glock fits me very comfortably, and I find it very, very comfortable to shoot. Now, one criticism that is sometimes leveled at the Glock is that you really cannot change the back strap or the grip in any way without, you know, basically taking a Dremel tool to it and, you know, removing some of this material, and that really should be done by a professional. So unless the stock model just fits your hand, and for me, the full size and the compact size, they just fit pretty well, and I find them very comfortable to shoot. I don't need any kind of modification, but for other people with smaller hands or larger hands, they may need to build up that grip or take away some of this grip or have someone do it for them. But in other respects, the Glock 21 is extremely comfortable to shoot. The recoil is very manageable, and so for ergonomics, I give it a 5 out of 5. As a value, a Glock cannot be beat. You get what you pay for, and you pay a very, very reasonable price. So I give the Glock 21 and all Glocks in general 5 out of 5 for value. So overall, I give the Glock 21 a 5 out of 5 rating. It is my favorite firearm, pretty much hands down. There are very few other firearms that I love as much as this one. The Smith & Wesson 625 JM is another one of my favorites, which is really, really high up there as well. But SIGs are also very nice. But in my opinion, if you're to go with an auto pistol, a Glock cannot be beat.